Man, today was a bad day to be an ESPN employee. In case you hadn't seen the news, there was a host of firings today by ESPN for many of their leading personalities on the network. Some names that pop out, we have Max Kellerman right here. Keyshawn Johnson also gets laid off. Susie Colbert, that one hurts, man. That one really hurts me. I mean, we all grew up listening to Susie Colbert on Monday Night Football. Like, come on, man. I mean, let's all be honest. We all had a big crush on Susie Colbert at one point, right? Like, what kid watching football when they were 10, 12 years old didn't have a crush on Susie Colbert? It was a woman talking football. Of course we were going to have a crush on her. Todd McShay is gone, which I think our boss Trey is pretty happy about that, taking victory laps on that one. Steve Young is also gone. And then in the basketball world, we also have Jeff Van Gundy and Jalen Rose gone as well. Now, we've reported on all of this over at vendettasportsmedia.com, link down in the description below. Also, NBA free agency is going on right now, so there is just a slew of things happening. My phone has been going crazy all day. I think the frenzy is somewhat over now, but there's still some signings, so make sure to also check out the website so that way you can be up to date on all these signings for free agency. But anyway, let's get back to what we're talking here with so many firings. Here is the full list of layoffs. And man, it's like these are some big names. Matt Hasselbeck is one that I forgot to mention. I know we did one over Matt Hasselbeck. I guess I just didn't bring it up here. Now, the number one question that I think pops into everyone's mind with these firings is why? Why are so many of the biggest figures at ESPN, why are they getting fired? Now, there's some that are okay. Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, JJ Redick, those are some of their more popular guys, along with other people like Jalen Rose, Jeff Van Gundy. They are regulars in ESPN programming, as well as Matt Hasselbeck, pretty key to their NFL coverage. Steve Young on Monday Night Football, along with Susie Colbert. I think there's one or two big reasons, and both of them have to deal with money. Now, part of it is, yes, they're making room for Pat McAfee to come in. He's getting his brand new show on ESPN. Max Kellerman's show, I mean, that was kind of, the writing was kind of on the wall there. I think the plan was they were kicking that show out of here. So seeing Keyshawn and Max go kind of makes sense to make room for Pat McAfee's show to move in. But it's like they're paying McAfee, but then they're getting rid of a host of other people. But it's not just also to cover for McAfee's show. In case you live under a rock, ESPN is owned by the Disney Corporation, and Disney has been hemorrhaging money over the past 2 years. So this is from earlier in the month. June 3rd is when this was posted. So there was a lot happening at the end of May and June where Disney tried to save some money by cutting a lot of programming from Disney Plus as well as Hulu. They own Disney Plus and Hulu, as well as ESPN, as we've already talked about. And even I have the package where you get 3 of them for a smaller fee, and it's quite nice, actually. You know, it's convenient. I'll give them that much. But shows like Willow, The Mighty Ducks, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, The Mysteries of the Benedict Society were taken off Disney Plus, a couple of others off of Hulu. In total, there were about 50 titles, according to this article, in an attempt to save 1.5, upwards of almost $2 billion. $2 billion. So we have the price cutting and the removing of content from some of their streaming platforms. And streaming services are also extremely expensive to run. We've seen, companies like Netflix have been losing money recently because, and to be quite honest, they greenlight any piece of crap that comes through there. If we're wanting to get into writing or directing into Hollywood in any way, then Netflix would kind of be the way to go. Almost anyone, it felt like, could get a Netflix series greenlit and get millions of dollars thrown at them, and then it gets canceled super quickly, and then they just kept greenlighting all these projects. And you're a subscription-based service, so you've got like a finite amount of money. It's not like, you spend $100 million on a movie and you're hoping to get, 200, 300, 400 million back, and all of a sudden it's a smash hit and you get $1 billion back, like what Disney has been used to doing over the past decade, which, speaking of, I don't know the legitimacy of this website. I'm just kind of having to go off of it here. This does link to a YouTube channel that has a decent number of followers, but supposedly, according to this website, the previous 8 films that Disney has put out, which includes Lightyear, Thor: Love and Thunder, Strange World, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man, Wasp, Little Mermaid, and Elemental just came out. All 8 of those films, $2.75 billion to produce, and brought in $1.86 billion. So looking at close to $900 million, $890 million in losses just from the box office from films that they've produced. So Disney is potentially, at best, losing hundreds of millions of dollars, at worst losing a couple $billion over this past fiscal year, with more woes ahead. I know that Disney is looking to potentially increase its subscription service. Disney Plus will now cost more because they're trying to cover the cost for all the expensive shows that they're putting out there, and all the movies they're not performing well, and Disney needs that green. Now, what makes Disney a bit more unique than someone like Netflix is that they have a huge park system that keeps them afloat. That's kind of how they survive. They've never needed Disney Plus. ESPN, the acquisition for them is kind of recent, and considering all of history for Disney. Now, I think the next question on everyone's mind is what happens to everyone that got fired. The big thing that I kind of assume what's going to end up happening, their new home. I think some may go to Fox. There's an opening now alongside Skip on Undisputed, now that Shannon's gone, and they've got some other ESPN style shows, and they're trying to increase their sports production. But I think most of everyone that got fired from ESPN, someone like Van Gundy may find a home with TNT, who knows, but I think most of them might end up going to a place like FanDuel. FanDuel had Pat McAfee, which he, as we've already talked, he left. They have a host of other shows that they do, and they pay a lot of people for these shows. They are increasing their internet presence, their sports coverage. And these would be kind of the perfect people. They're recognizable names. You could pay them a lot of money, and they are a gambling website, and gambling isn't even legal in all 50 United States. FanDuel is not in all 50 states. That is probably going to be an eventuality that they are, and already it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So the revenue is there for FanDuel to go out and get a Jalen Rose or a Van Gundy, a Susie Colbert, a Max Kellerman, any one of these guys, a Todd McShay for college football coverage. They have the tools. But what do you guys think? Are you cool with these firings? Is there anyone that you're gonna miss? Or are you kind of like me, where you didn't really watch much of the ESPN programming outside of the few clips that hit social media, because the general talk around sports in this mainstream media around ESPN and Fox Sports, it's kind of tiresome. It tires me out. They talk about the same stuff all the time. They say stupid things. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a new video drops. This is Jackson Law from Vendetta Sports Media, signing off, and I will see you guys next time.